Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about arc length. So first, let's talk about the equation. We have two equations here. The first equation is how to find the length of an arc, and the second one is about the circumference. So let's look at this one first. It's c equals 2 pi r. This is for finding the circumference of a circle. And as you can see in the arc length equation, this 2 pi r is in it. It's right there. So we already know that that equation is going to involve finding the circumference of a circle. And then we have m in degrees over 360 degrees. M would represent the measure of the angle that we're told to find the arc length of. Or it could even represent just the angle that we're given. And then all of this is over 360 degrees, which is the angle of the measure of the whole circle. Okay? And S would be representing the length of the arc, and R is the radius. So let's have two problems. The first problem, in this problem we're given a circle. Okay, it's not a great circle, but it's a circle. And let's have a point O, because this is circle O. And here we're gonna have point P, point T, point S, point R, and here point Q. And when we connect them, we're gonna get our angles. So in this problem, the radius of the circle is going to be 14 degrees. We can write that anywhere because all of these are the radii. And then this angle POQ is going to be 109 degrees. Okay? And we're told to find the length of arc PQ. So while arc PQ is right here. But while we know that the length of the central angle is 109 degrees, that can help us to determine the measure of arc PQ. And if this is the central angle, the measure of arc PQ will also be 109 degrees. But we're told to find the length of that arc, and we use both of these equations to find that. So first things first, we can use the circumference formula, c equals 2 pi r, and plug in what we know. So it is 2 pi times the radius, which is 14. When we simplify this, 2 times 14 is 28. Multiply that by pi, is c equals 28 pi. Okay, now we can plug that into this equation to find the length of this arc in general. We're gonna have 109 degrees over 360 degrees multiplied by this 28 pi, and we can say that's over 1 because there's nothing under it, and we're already given a fraction here, so it'll just make things easier. And all of this is equal to PQ, the length of arc PQ. When we simplify all of this, we're going to get that the length of arc PQ is equal to 226.63. And that would be how you solve for the length of this arc. But instead of just knowing how to solve for the length of this arc in a very simple example, let's get a more in-depth one. So let's have problem 2 up here, and we can draw another circle. There we go. And here we can call this point, we can call it circle P. And this can be point A, and this can be called point C. And on the other side, we'll have point B. Okay, so once we connect them, we'll have 3 angles. These 3 angles, and that one. And the radius is going to be 10. And we are given that the measure of arc ABC, being ABC, is going to be 16 pi. 16 pi. So this entire arc. And we're asked to find the measure of arc AC. So now it's not the length of AC, but the measure of angle AC, or arc AC, excuse me. So to do this, we can use this above equation and plug in what we know. So S is 16 pi. We're going to have 16 pi being equal to m over 360 multiplied by 20 pi, because 20 pi would be the circumference of this. So now we can eliminate the pi because it's on both sides of the equation, and then start solving. So 16 is equal to m over 360 degrees, both of these are in degrees, multiplied by 20. And you can see that m over 360 degrees is already a fraction form. So if we divide the 20 and move it over to this side, we'll have a proportion. And let's do that. So it's going to be m degrees over 360 degrees is equal to 16 divided by 20. And since it's a proportion, we can turn this into a multiplication sign and multiply going crisscross. We're going to have 20m being equal to 16 times 360 degrees. And when we simplify this and solve for m, we're going to get m being equal to 288 degrees. So now let's just take a moment to look at what m would help us find. M, since we use this equation, m is going to give us the measure of angle A. Okay, it's going to give us the measure of this angle right here, because we need to find the measure of this angle, but we can do that by finding the measure of this great angle outside and then subtracting that from 360 degrees to get this. And if this is m, what we can now do is we can plug this in, and we can get 360 degrees minus 288 degrees, and that will give us the measure of arc AC, because measure of arc AC is here, and that would help us find, once we do this, we'll get the measure of this angle, APC, and that's the central angle, so then the arc will be the same. And when we subtract all of this, we'll get the measure of arc AC to equal 72 degrees. So there you have it, guys. That's how you'd use the equation to find arc length in 2 example problems. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow.